Hello everyone and welcome back to the X-Ring. I hope you're doing well this weekend. Man, I am so looking forward to the sub MOA, the Zeiss 1 mile challenge next weekend. We have 10 competitors. We're going to film that next Sunday, so looking forward to that. But that's not what today's video is about. Today's video is about the Mark 18 and 6mm mag, so stick around. All right, guys, so what is a Mark 18? A true Mark 18 is a concept. It's not an actual rifle. Some of you guys might think it's an actual Daniel Defense, but it's not. But basically, it's a concept where they wanted to shorten the M4A1 into a platform that had an upper that had a 10.3-inch barrel. And the effective range was touted at about 300 meters or so. And it was really meant for having a shorter platform that was easier to work in and around vehicles and in and around buildings and inside of rooms and whatnot, close quarters basically. And guys, the Mark 18 is one of my most favorite rifles. I love it, but you are limited. You're going to be using some of your parts more because it is pretty tough on the parts when they enlarge the gas port and you've got that 10.3-inch, you're putting all that gas back into the action. So you have to keep track of your parts and make sure that your components are in good working order. But it is one of my most favorite rifles and I usually carry it with me everywhere. However, you know, you guys know that I really like subguns, okay? 9mm subguns have their place, whether it's an MP5 or some of the BNTs, but it's very mission specific. Are you working around cars, vehicles, whatnot? And remember, with that 9mm subgun, your effective range is going to be minimized drastically. So I've had a lot of short ARs. One of my first videos I ever did when I started the channel about 4 or 5 years ago was on this LWRC M6. And man, I caught so much hate over this thing. Everybody was talking about how I've reduced the effectiveness of the round, and I don't see it that way. So the thing is even when you shorten these barrels to, let's say, an 8-inch barrel or something really, really short, like this one here that's going to be, you know, a 6-inch barrel out of an AR. You know, it has its place because something this small and this compact is so easy to work in a vehicle. It's easy to muzzle yourself as well, but it still can defeat body armor. Now, for those of you naysayers out there, I know firsthand experience. I'm actually going to show you a rifle here. This was actually carried in Afghanistan by Special Operations from about 2008 to about 2010. This was a real working rifle. This put down many, many bad guys. It has a Noveske Flaming Pig on it, but this was made by Olympic Arms, and there were about 4 or 5 guys on that Special Operations unit that were actually running those. Now, they weren't the only ones. There were some other guys. And for those guys, they wanted an element where they could really work really in tight spaces and in vehicles and have something that had the armor penetrating capability. Now, I've had no problem hitting targets out to 100, 200 yards. We're going to shoot those here in just a moment. But it is mission specific. So it got me thinking, you know, the 6 Max by Brian Cook, you guys know I've done plenty of stuff on that with regards to DMR and whatnot. I wanted to kind of put together a Mark 18 in 6 Max. And this is a beautiful example of what I think you could do. This is a Geisley Super Duty. It was a factory gun. What I did was I put a 10.3-inch barrel on this and put it in 6 Max. And you guys might say, well, what's the difference? Why would you do that? Well, it's velocity. You know, velocity's king. And guys, shooting the 6 Max in this rifle here, shooting like a 59 grain bullet, is almost 3,000 feet a second. And so to do that out of a 10.3, now I've taken this all the way out to 700 yards without any issues. Now, of course, it's still going to lose a lot of the velocity. You know, maybe that effective range has been increased from 300, you know, yards for a Mark 18 to about 400 yards or whatever. We're talking about terminal ballistics. You know, you just hit them with a round, you can still put somebody down. But either way, I think this is a great option. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot this today. We're going to look at the velocities. We're going to compare it side by side to a Mark 18, and we'll see what you think about it. So here we go. All right, so I'll go over the specs on this in just a moment. But basically what we're going to do is I'll go ahead and start trying to pick off some targets. Those are little 8-inch steels at 150 and then 200. It's got a grid. I do have the Allen system going on. Let me go ahead and make sure that that's on, and we'll just load a magazine of 30 and then we'll just finish off into the berm here. All right, we'll go 100 first. We'll go 135, 150, and we'll go 200. All right, so we're good. And then if we're up close, you know, you've got the dot on here, however you want to run it, but up close, so you've got a lot of firepower here in this short little maneuverable package, and then that is with a Surefire RC3. So it is very, very controllable, especially that recoil. We're not getting overgas or anything else. It is just a great platform. It's a lot of fun. Let's see if we can hit one. Let's see, down here at 100. All right, 150, bottom left. That's an impact. 200 again. All right, so we've got some impacts on that. All right, so just an awesome platform, guys, just really set up for everything. The way I've got this set up, I actually have the EOTech, the Voodoo. This is the 1 to 10. It does have the Night Force cantilever mount. I do have a Trijicon with the Trijicon RMR as an offset red dot. Also has the Unity First Tactical, so I can control not only the Surefire Scout Light with the high candela, incredible light, but also the PEC. It does have the Surefire RC3 on the end of it. And it's actually hard to find a black vertical grip that actually works with the Picatinny now, because Picatinnys are kind of gone. I just need to update this to a RIS 3 rail. Other than that, this is a factory built Daniel Defense Mark 18. So it is one of my favorite rifles. Let's go ahead and take a look at that 6 Max. All right, so now just imagine having that same exact platform, but now you've got it in 6 Max. And you guys say, well, why is this knucklehead so hung up on 6 Max? Well, the thing is shooting like a 62 grain out of this, like a green tip, like an MK18, you're looking on this, you know what, we're gonna test it on the Garmin, we'll just check it out, but you're looking at about 2,600 feet per second, which, you know, isn't bad at all. You know, that's pretty awesome. When you drop down or you move up to the 77 grain, the Black Hills, the Mark 262, it's gonna drop it down to 24 and some change. All right, so this one is set up similarly. This actually has a Surefire RC3 on it. It does have the Liberty suppressor covers, some of the best suppressor covers in the world that I found. This also has the Surefire on it with the PEC, the Unity First, the V4. It does have the Razor HD 1 to 10 with a spur mount. Just a great setup. So let's go ahead and try it out. We've got 20 round mags. Unfortunately, the 30s are still in prototyping. So here we go. We'll start off at 100. Now remember, if you've got like a 200 yard zero, you got to aim a little bit low. And we'll go 135 off to the right. We'll go 150. And we'll go 200. That's it. All right, so here we go. Controllability as far as full auto. And it works every time. Guys, this Max is just freaking awesome. So let's go ahead and get some velocities. All right, so first up is gonna be the Mark 18. We've got the Garmin right here, and what we'll do is we'll just do 5 shots, and we'll see what we get. I think we're gonna be about 2,600, but let's see what we get on this. All right, here we go. $26.19. 25.85, 25.96, 25.91, and 25.88. Now guys, that was on the M855 green tip. I'm using the good stuff, and that's a pretty hot round. So what I'll do is, let me go ahead and, since I've got the rifle here and you guys got this data, that average on that was actually 25.96. Standard deviation was actually 12, so that actually wasn't bad. But let's go ahead and skew it all and just throw some 77s just to see, you know, how fast we're doing these 77s. I'll just do 3 shots of that, just guys, so you guys have it for comparison. So out of a 10.3 inch barrel, 77 grain Mark 262. All right. Let's say shooting this heavy bullet, we're probably going to be 24-ish, 24 and some change, and you guys know it's super hot stuff. Here we go. 2353, 2405, and 2353. So substantially slower shooting the 5.56. And you guys know velocity is king, all right? Especially when it comes to like terminal ballistics and all of that. You know, having that extra oomph will work really well. So what we've got now is this is a 58 grain VMAX. Unfortunately, we don't have an exact loading for a 62. So it's not going to be apples and apples, but it's only basically 4 grains difference. If you want me to, I can shoot 55 grain and you'll see it's still not going to be much faster than that out of the 5.56. So let's go ahead and see what we've got. Let me go ahead and reset this. All right, so we got it there. I'm going to make sure the camera's focused in, and it appears to be. So here we go. We are hot. We don't want full auto, so here we go. .30-81. .29-28. .30-44. .30-33. And .29-41. All right, guys, that's a huge difference. Basically over 400 feet per second faster shooting this. And like I said, shooting out to 700 yards, no problem with that 10-inch, 10.3 inch barrel out of that 6 Max. I'm pretty darn impressed with it. All right, now we have an 8.5 inch, I believe it is. This is the LWRC M6. Let's see what we get on this one. .24-32, 24-44, 24. So you get the idea, 24-ish, 24-21. So we are good on that one. Let's go ahead and switch over to the little 6-inch AR, the flamethrower, and see how it does. Guys, this thing is so maneuverable, it is just sick. So let's go ahead and check it out. I'd be surprised if this thing gets 1900, but maybe. Here we go. 1736. 1757. I got a couple on full auto. Here we go. That's a handful. 1744. All right, I hope everyone enjoyed that rundown of the Mark 18 in 6 Max. Guys, it is a phenomenal cartridge. Just think, you're dealing with AR pressures, AR bolt carrier group, AR bolt face. I mean, it is the standard 5.56 variation without any type of modifications. A 20 round mag is going to hold 20 and a 30 is going to hold 30. And you've got 400 feet per second more in this caliber than you do over the 5.56, regardless of what type of ammunition that you're shooting. As far as armor penetrating capabilities, now of course most normal people aren't going to have access to any type of tungsten rounds or anything else because that falls under like explosives or whatever, but I do know that like some of the tungsten rounds can go through a 1/2 inch of mild steel. It'll actually go through like 1/4 inch AR-500 if you're using those specialty rounds. And even the solid coppers are actually pretty phenomenal as well. So having a platform that delivers that extra oomph without giving, I mean, guys, think about it. Their capacity is the same. I mean, the 2 rounds look almost identical. I'm going to hold those up for you so you guys can see them. So that 6 Max is basically a 350 Legend case. It was a straight wall case that Brian Cook had come up with a design for it, and boom, there it is. And you're being able to load that 243 bullet, but not only in something as light as a 55 grain, but all the way up to a 105 grain. So, using a 105, used for long range work, we've shot the 6 Max out to 1,000 yards pretty easily. I know there's been guys that have been taking some of these 10-inch barrels out to 1,000 as well. I'm not recommending that. You don't have a lot of energy left, but it does have more energy than any comparable round in the 5.56. It's just simple math. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I will tell you that Brian Cook, today being Saturday, what day is it today? It is Saturday the 13th. I know that on Monday at about 8 o'clock, he's dropping 10, 20-inch barrels. Those aren't going to last long, but if you're looking for one, remember, you don't have to do anything else. You just buy the barrel and the gas tube, and you are good to go. No special timing, no special bolt carrier group, no special buffer, anything like that. But this has been a phenomenal round. Price of the round is about $1.50 right now. It is available on the BC Precision Ballistics website. That will eventually come down. They've already got some things in place. So I think here in the near future, you'll probably see that round go down to about $1 a round. I am getting behind the round because I do like it, and I think it's a great option. Otherwise, man, I hope everybody joins us for the April 21st match. For those that have emailed me on wanting to be a contestant, I've responded to most of you. The last little batch I haven't had a chance to respond to. Right now I've got about 20-something people on the wait list for episode 3. Episode 2 is already full. We've already got the 10 contestants for that. And what I'll start doing is lining up the date. Once I find out the date through the Clinton House, I will get that out to you guys, and then those that are basically number 11 through 21 or 11 through 20 will have the first shot, and then I'll start going down the list for other competitors. There are a lot of guys already talking junk. I think we're going to have quite a few impacts. We'll see. Hey, I'm pulling for them. I want somebzeito win the scope. Big shout out to Zeiss and everyone else that's helping sponsor that event. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. All right, so for a little bit of bonus footage, for those of you that might carry an AR in your vehicle and you're looking for a really, really good sling, guys, Kyle Lamb introduced me to his VTAC, his Street Fighter sling years ago. It's very minimalist. This is not something to ruck with or anything else. But if you're wanting a sling that is going to be accessible to you in your vehicle so that if you needed to go hands-on, you needed to free up your hands, you could actually do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the sling very quickly. Basically, you buy the sling. It looks kind of like this. There's a lot going on, but it'll make sense in just a moment. You buy 2 QDs, and what we do is we just plug them in right here, and then I'm going to show you how compact this unit really becomes. All right, so basically when you plug it in, you're going to have these 2 tabs. What you're going to do is go ahead and get these evened up to how you like it. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're just going to fold it, okay? So by folding this enables you to, and you can get creative with your tucking and all of that, but basically you've got this Velcro tab here, and we're just going to fold that around like that. And then you'll do the same on this. And that's it. She stores just like that, super lightweight. Now you're not going to be able to retract your stock, but the idea of this is, I'm going to show you this very quickly on how you can get this deployed and go straight to work. All right, so however you run your defensive long gun, I'm always going to recommend having a sling. Guys, you won't believe the amount of times you're going to need to be able to use your hands for whatever reason. And just reaching in and having a rifle is one thing, but now that if I needed to free up a hand, help somebody, anything else, I have no way of securing this. What are you going to do? Lay it up against the truck or lay it on the ground? So with the VTAC, the Street Fighter, what you're going to do is just grab this center rip here, you pull it up and over, and then you've got it. You say, well, it's got a lot of slack. This is going to work like a normal VTAC. You can take up the slack there, or you can retract it. Whatever you need to do, it works really, really well. Nothing worse than somebody that doesn't have a sling and they're trying to figure out what to do with their rifle when they need to use their hands. So hopefully that's a good tip for you guys. I have no connection to the company other than Kyle is an awesome guy and he makes some great products, and this is actually one of them. So you guys take care. Have a great weekend. We'll come back at you again next time at the Zeiss Sub MOA 1 Mile Challenge.